By sunrise, the whole valley will know my name." Eli said it so loudly that 3 sparrows flew out of the oak tree. He stood on a rocky hill above Willow Creek, holding a small brass lantern in his paws. The lantern was old, dusty, and missing one glass panel. But Eli had a dream. He wanted to become the valley's greatest night guide. Every autumn, travelers crossed the forest after sunset. The narrow path and steep cliffs made darkness dangerous. Eli believed he could light the trail from the village to the mountain pass. It was a wonderful idea. Unfortunately, Eli loved talking about it more than working on it. He hurried from one animal to another, sharing his grand plan. "I'll hang lanterns on every tree," he told the rabbits. "I'll build a shining bridge over the creek," he announced to the beavers. "And when the winter travelers arrive, they'll say, 'Only Eli could have done this.'" The animals clapped. Some cheered. A few even called him a genius. Each compliment made Eli feel as if he had finished the work. By the end of the day, he felt tired, without lifting a single stone. Near the creek lived Mara, an old badger who had repaired forest paths for many years. She listened quietly as Eli described his plans for the 10th time. "Have you collected the lantern oil?" she asked. "Not yet," Eli replied. "Have you measured the bridge?" "Not yet." "Have you fixed the lantern in your paw?" Eli glanced at the broken glass panel. "Not yet," he admitted. "But everyone knows what I'm going to do." Mara gave him a gentle look. "A promise can inspire people," she said, "but only action can protect them. Keep a little of your dream private. Let your work grow before the valley admires it." Eli frowned. "You sound worried instead of happy." "I am happy for your dream," Mara said. "I am worried about the time you spend describing it." But Eli walked away. He believed Mara simply did not understand how important his announcement was. The next morning, he found a barrel of oil near the old mill. Before carrying it home, he ran to tell the squirrels. "You won't believe it. I found the first supply for my lantern road." By the time Eli returned, the barrel was gone. He searched everywhere. Nothing. A few days later, he gathered strong vines for the bridge. Again, he stopped to tell everyone about them. When he came back, the vines had disappeared. Then the first cold wind swept through the valley. Leaves fell, days grew shorter, and the mountain path became almost impossible to see. Eli climbed the hill. There was not a single lantern on the trail. His brass lantern was broken. The bridge was only a sentence, and the oil and vines were gone. His plans existed only in the memories of those who had applauded him. For the first time, Eli felt something stronger than embarrassment. He felt afraid. That evening, a family of mice tried to cross the mountain path. The father carried a child, while the mother held an empty candle cup. Halfway up the trail, they stopped. Eli watched from the shadows. He could have hidden, but instead, he ran to Mara. "I talked about helping everyone," he said, his voice trembling, "but I haven't helped anyone." Mara handed him a small piece of clear glass. "Then stop explaining," she said. "Start repairing." Eli worked through the night. He polished the lantern, fitted the glass into place, used a fallen branch as a handle, and filled it with Mara's last drop of saved oil. Then he carried it to the mountain path. One lantern could not light the whole valley, but it could light the next 10 steps. The following morning, Eli did not make an announcement. He quietly collected oil. He repaired broken lamps. He marked dangerous stones with white paint. Whenever someone asked what he was doing, he simply smiled and returned to work. Day after day, the trail became safer. Soon, the beavers offered wood, the squirrels brought vines, and the rabbits carried stones. They had noticed Ellie's work because the results were impossible to miss. By the first snowfall, a warm line of lanterns stretched from the village to the mountain pass. The bridge stood firmly over the creek, and travelers crossed the path without fear. The animals gathered beneath the glowing lamps. "Eli, you really did it," they shouted. Eli looked at the lantern in his paw. This time, he did not feel proud because everyone was cheering. He felt grateful because the path was shining. Mara stood beside him and asked, "What did you learn?" Eli smiled. "A dream is not a bridge, a lantern, or a safe road," he said. "It is only a direction. The real journey begins when we stop talking about what we will do and quietly do it." From that night forward, Eli still shared his dreams, but he shared them after taking the first steps, not before. Talking about success can give us the feeling of success before we have earned it. Speak less about your plans, work consistently, and let your finished results shine brighter than your promises.